everyone, it's Nicole, and today I'm super excited because I'm going to be making a card for Lawn Fawn on video, and it's going to be my first time. So for this card I'm going to be using the die set Finley's ABCs. I'm also going to use the smallest text bubble die from the set Chit Chat, this adorable stamp set Monster Mash along with its coordinating dies. I'm also going to be using watercolor cardstock, a variety of distress inks, both the minis and the regular size. I'm going to be using VersaFine ink and a variety of distress markers, along with the pretty pink posh sequins. So to start off, I'm going to be using my Mini Mister Distress Inks watercolor cardstock to create the panel for this card, and I'm just smearing some of this ink here on this shipping label that I've already attached to my work surface. But you could also use a piece of wax paper or the Ranger craft sheet as well. They all kind of work the same. So after I smeared all the colors that I'm using, I'm just going to add some water here with my Mini Mister. And the colors that I'm using are Shaded Lilac, Picked Raspberry, Scattered Straw, and Spun Sugar. So I'm going to take my watercolor cardstock and just smear it on the water and ink mixture and tapping off the excess. Now originally it came out a little bit lighter than I anticipated, so I just went ahead and applied some more ink, or dabbed it more into the ink. So I'm just going to use my heat tool here to dry it off, and then I'm going to add a little bit more ink because right here on this side, this right hand corner, it's a little bit lighter than I would hoped. So I'm just going to add some more ink. Now this extra ink here on the bottom, you could use a piece of tissue paper or a paper towel just to remove it so it'll absorb it, but I kind of like the way it looks here when I have it dried because it looks a little bit more like a watercolor painting, so I prefer to leave it on. So now that it's fully dry, I'm just going to apply some more ink here, just picking up these little balls of ink, smearing a little bit here, and I kind of like the way that looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and heat dry that. Next, I'm taking Finley's ABC's dies, and I'm going to show you how I arrange the word monster here. So you could take the dies and align them onto your work surface here using the grid as a guide. And then you could take a piece of low tack tape and then just place that right over and pick that up just like this. And now it's ready to be die cut, so I went ahead and pre-cut a piece of 1 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock. It's a 100-pound cardstock. So I'm going to take the word monster and I'm just going to adhere it onto the small panel like so and run that through my Cuttlebug. And now I have this really cool monster panel and then a couple of letters left over for another project. So I'm just going to place it over the panel like so, but first what I want to do is take another piece of watercolor cardstock and I'm going to stamp out a couple of these monster images. So I'm going to be using VersaFine ink, and this ink is perfect for doing some watercoloring. So that's the ink that I'm going to be using today. It's a brand new ink pad, so that's why my stamps are getting like really full of ink. Okay, now that I've got those all stamped out, I'm going to start getting ready to do some coloring here with the distress ink. So I'm just going to take a scattered straw and I'm just smearing a little bit of that onto my slick surface and adding some water. I have a cup of water outside of the shot here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward the coloring here. Okay, and now that I'm happy with the coloring, I'm just going to go ahead and set that with my heat tool. And then I'm going to be using the coordinating dies to cut out each little monster here. And I also off camera went ahead and cut out a speech bubble. And I'm going to be using that speech bubble along with the sentiment, and it's going to hold the word hugs. But before I go ahead and start putting the monsters and the monster panel on to the card, I'm just going to take this watercolor piece here and I'm going to adhere that to my A2 size card that I already cut out and scored. I'm just going to place that on here. And now I could take my 3D foam adhesive and start adding that to the monster panel. Okay, now I'm just going to add this little monster here peeking out on top. And I thought adding the little monster on top would be cute because I kind of wanted this card to look as if the monsters were saying, sending you monster hugs. So I thought that would look really cute up there. And now I'm just going to add some 3D foam adhesive to these little monsters here too. Okay, but before I permanently adhere the monster panel, I'm just going to make this little marking here with a pencil. And I'm going to stamp the beginning of that sentiment. So I'm just going to do some selective inking here. And I'm starting out by stamping the sending you, and I'm just going to erase this little pencil mark here. Okay, and now I'm going to adhere that panel. Just like that, looks super cute. Now I'm just going to take some thread here, and I want to add this to the card just for a little bit of added interest. So I'm just going to place that right here onto the card. And now I'm going to start adhering the little monsters. I'm going to start by placing this one right in the center. And then adding the other two on both sides. Now I think because of the camera angle I didn't quite get it in the center, but it's okay because I'm going to be using sequins, and I was thinking I could put a couple on that left side over here just to fill in that gap. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the word hugs onto this mini text bubble. And then I'm just going to arrange that onto the card. And I kind of like the way it looks right here. Now when I did the watercoloring, it looked like the eyes got a little bit fogged up, so I'm just taking a black jelly pen here to recolor in those eyes really quick. And then just gonna apply some sequins. And I had to glue it off camera only because my battery died, so I didn't get that on film. And this is what the finished card looked like when I came back with a full battery. So I hope you really enjoyed this card. This is my first time making a card on camera. I usually make little party decorations and other 3D projects. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!